Hello friends, it's Miss Mary here from the HHS Teen Center, and thank you for joining in this activity, Recycled Flower Lights. For this project you will need some plastic bottles, so I've just grabbed these out of the recycling in my home, and they're wet, but that's just because I cleaned them off. So to clean them off, it's a good idea, just put a drop of dish soap in, fill with water, you put on that cap and shake it, and then just rinse it till it's clear. And so now that these are starting out clean, that's perfect and nice and sanitary, and I can just cut off the label. Now with your Sharpie or permanent marker, you want to give yourself a guiding line for where you're going to cut. So I'm just going to follow along on this bottle on this seam, and not all bottles have like the same shape, so for some it might be a little trickier than others, but for these it should be pretty straightforward. I'm not going to cut them all in the same place though, because I want to experiment a little bit with how the flowers we're going to create out of these will look if I cut at different lengths. The bottles I'm working with here have a really thin plastic, so they're pretty easy to cut. So even with these like small safety scissors, I can go ahead and do my cutting. If you're working with a thicker plastic bottle, you might need to first spear it to get some headway with your scissors. So this one is pretty flimsy. It might not hold up to this, but you'd want to very carefully just puncture with one of the blades of your scissors to do so. Now that I've got all of my bottles cut, it'll be easier to access and go ahead and dry them out from washing them. Our bottles and caps are now all prepped, so we can put the caps aside. We won't be needing these until a little bit later, and then we'll get started shaping our flowers. Using your permanent marker again, you're going to want to go ahead and trace the shape that you're going to cut out. You can do anything you like, so these can be pointy petals, you could try square ones, really rounded ones. I encourage you to really try out a few different techniques to see what you like the best. Now that we've got all of our guiding lines in place, it's time to cut. Now we've got everything cut, and it's time to decide, do we want to shape them or not? So by that what I mean is you can see the shape of what will be a flower here on the bottle. Do you want to leave this so it's a nice little bell shape, or do you want to bend them out so you have like a lovely blooming flower? I have sculpted my shapes as I like, or not. This one will stay a cute little bell shape. Take a look at the shapes you made, and if you want to do any changes, you can. So for instance, these petals end flat, and these ones end in a little point. So I can go ahead and round or point or change the shape if I like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So for this project, we're going to want to paint the outside of the bottle instead of the inside. Just like this. One thing to consider here is that since our surface is see-through, is there anything interesting or fun that we could try with our paint? So I'm going to give a go to laying down some paint in the center of these petals, and then I'm going to let it dry and then put another coat of paint to see if I get a good effect going of like a nice highlighted center. What else could you think of? I have saved this portion for last to add a different color yellow. Now I'm going to use a thick piece of cardboard on top of my work surface, and we're going to punch holes into our bottle caps with our scissors. So be careful here because your scissor blades can be sharp. But what you'll want to do is just get one blade into the center of the bottle cap and then push down. Now we just want to fix our bottle caps back on. If you have string lights in your home, you can also do this part. We're just going to slip our flowers onto the lights. Here's our finished project. With just some recycled materials, items found around the home, and paint, we've created these beautiful and unique recycled bottle plastic flowers. Thank you for participating in this activity, and please share with us what you've made by posting to social media and giving us a tag at BGCOPH.